Hi, you guys. Welcome. It's Friday. So that means that you have 2 days off. And you'll be happy to know that next week we are learning a couple more figures, pyramids, and some other shapes. We're going to do volume. And so I wanted to just kind of let you know that next week is the last week of learning. And then we're going to do some review. We are going to have a final exam, but the final exam is going to be easy questions from like basic topics that you'll need to know from Algebra 2. So that means that we're going to have next week, the 11th through the 15th of May, that we're going to finish up chapter 11. And then May 18th through the 22nd, we'll review some topics that the Algebra 2 teachers told us that you're going to need to know and be really good at for next year. And then the final is just going to be practice problems. And so it's not necessarily a geometry final on everything you've learned from January till now. It is not that. Okay. All right. So let's start, shall we? Okay. Um, so the essential question up on top is basically, how can I find the volume of three-dimensional shapes? We're going to be doing a lot of three-dimensional shapes. Okay, volume. If I were to fill it up with water, how much water would fill it? Right here, this little cylinder has a hole, right? Here's a little lid. If I filled this up with water, how much water would fill it? I also happen to have bubbles, my kids' bubbles. And so, obviously, my leg broke through it. But anyhow, how much liquid can fill this bubble container? Okay? So, volume, filling something up. There's a lot of vocab words. I want you to look at them and go through them. It's maybe press pause in the video in a second. A prism is going to be a top and a bottom, like generally a square or rectangle. And then it has four sides that are all similar. So I've got my top and my bottom of my prism, and then all four sides are rectangles. Okay. A cylinder has circular top and bottom. And then if I unfold it, I'm going to do that with this. I'm going to take off the label. So pretend the label went from top to bottom. I have a circle on top. I have a circle on bottom. And then I have this rectangle. Let's pretend this paper wraps all the way around. I could also get like a can of soup or something and do this, right? Uh-oh. Okay, this is high quality glue is what this is. Okay. Then my cylinder also has a rectangular. Okay, so that's what I've got. Anyhow, you get it. All right, so you do that with like a can of corn, right? All right, so press pause, copy down all of the definitions. I want to point out you just copied down oblique cylinder. In an oblique cylinder, the shape doesn't change. Think of a slinky, you guys. If I had a slinky and I tilted the slinky, it would still have the same volume and the same size from side to side and top to bottom as it would if it were a slinky that was just straight up and down. So just because I shift something and I tilt a cylinder, the volume doesn't change, okay? And Cavallari's principle says that. If two three-dimensional figures have the same height and the same cross-sectional area, which means from side to side, did the cylinder get wider when I tilted it? No, it did not get wider. So the volumes are equal. Cavallari's principle. Let's talk about the formulas. How to find the volume. Okay. All right. So I've got a volume of a prism. A prism is three-dimensional. Okay. To find the volume, I need to know how big the bottom rectangle is, the area of the base, area of the base. That's big B. And then the height, obviously, is H. So it's like if I had a stack of Post-it notes. Do you love my visuals? I hope you do. If I just had one Post-it, okay, and I said, well, there's the area of my base. How big is that shape? And then I said, well, how high then is this Post-it stack? So now I'm going to look at the side and say, how high is this? So basically, don't I have like 100 Post-it notes flat stuff on top of each other, right? So the Post-it notes that I have on top of each other all add up to make my height. So I'm layering this base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 100, right? So that's how you find the volume of a prism. Volume of a cylinder is the area of a circle my area of a circle, and then how high that is. Sadly, I don't have any circular Post-it notes, but if I did, you know I'd be all over it. So the circular bottom and then how high it is. Here's a cylinder again. What's the area of this rectangle? Whoa, 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 whoa. What's the area of this circular bottom? And then how high does it go? Okay. So we're going to find the volume of the next shapes. You are going to need a calculator. Can you please grab one? You're going to need a calculator that has pi button. And the pi button means scientific. So can you please find a calculator? Get it now? Okay, here we go. So the volume is the area of the base, capital B. Okay, so that's 6 times 8 is 48 times, how high did I go? I went 15 high. Okay, 48 times 15 is 720. 720 yards. Guess what? It's not squared, it's cubed. Okay. You might have also learned to find volume of a rectangular prism. Length times width times height. Do you remember that? Well, that's what we do when we just have basic, easy shapes, like a box. But we're not going to have that. Look at B and C and D. So that's not really going to work for us. Okay? All right. So let's not focus on that one. Okay. This, guys, I need you to turn it to its side. Darn it, you know what? I don't have, wait, do I? No. All my shape, this is kind of the shape, but let me zoom out. Kind of the shape, but this shape is, the shape on your paper is like flatter, like the roof of a house, right? Imagine this shape were turned flat. I need to know the area of the triangle and then how high it is. So you need to basically turn this roof flat, and this triangle is going to be your base. Okay, and then it's going to be 4 high. So you're flipping this shape like upright. Okay, like that. So this triangle, 1/2 base times height, right? The base is 5.5 times the height. Now that's just like big B, right? Height is 4. Okay. So 5.5 cut in half. So it's like $5.50. So $2.75. 275 times 2. So let's do this. You could also do 5.5. It looks like a multiplication problem. 5.5 double, that's 11. And you could do 11 cut in half. However your brain works, guys, okay? Anyways, this 2 and this 1/2 cancel each other out. 11 cut in half is 5.5. 2.75 times 2 is 5.5. 5.5 times 4. So, on your calculator, guys, don't just copy me. The area is 22 inches cubed. Okay? It does not matter that this is an oblique prism. It's a stack of magazines or papers tilted. It's okay. The height is still 12. The base is this rectangle down below, 12 times 10. Big B, 12 times 10 times the height times 12. Okay? Cavalari's principle says, even if it's oblique, it's still going to have the same volume. So 12 times 12 is 144. Make your life easy. 12 times 12 is 144. 144 times 10, you just add a 0 to it, right? 1,440. Very good. The area equals 1,440 inches cubed. Okay, very good. All right, this is the same thing. Look, here's my calendar propped up. Find the area of the bottom triangle, and then it's going to be 8 high. My height is 8. Just because it's tilted a different direction doesn't mean you can't do the problem. All right? Think outside the box. Haha, literally. I can make cheesy jokes all night long. Yeah, it's Thursday night that I'm recording it right now. So, all right, here we go. Area of the triangle times the height. That's big B, right? 1/2, 6 times 4. Not decimal. Okay. Times 8 high. 1/2 of 24. 6 times 4 is 24. Half of 24 times 8. 96. Which is cubed. Make sure that your exponent is a 3. All right. That was rectangular prisms. Now let's move into cylinders, shall we? Okay. Cylinders. Find the area of the circle. Pi r squared times the height. Okay. All right. The radius is half of 24, right? So I'm going to do pi times 12 squared times 11. Are we good with that? I think there's a glare. Is there a glare, you guys? I bet the glare has been happening my entire video. Why didn't you guys raise your hand and tell me? Just kidding. 144. I'm sorry. Put the pi in front because we're going to do it at the end. Times 11. I do not have that memorized. Obviously. But it's really close to 1,440. Okay. 15. Yeah. 115.84 pi. It's okay to leave your answers in pi format with pi in the answer. Okay, totally fine. All right, F. So, my radius, okay, all right, this is like the radius, right? My radius. The area is the big B times the height. My height is 5. I just tilted it on its side. Pi times 7 squared. Pi times 49 times 5. Well, I could do 50 times 5. Subtract 5. If you want to do things in your head, 245. Oh, meters cubed. Pardon me. Can't forget the unit of measurement. Okay. So far, so good. 2 word problems. Keisha is Kesha. I like Keisha. Keisha is deciding between 2 canisters shown. Which canister holds more? Okay. Well, you guys, they're the same size canister. Just because I tilt it doesn't mean that the volume changes. The amount of water in both canisters, or the amount of beans or rice or whatever, flour, sugar, is the same. Okay? They are the same. Okay? Excellent. Number 3. Each locker is shaped like a rectangular prism, which has more storage space. All right, let's do this. Here's the last one. All right. The volume of the base times the height. 12 times 10 is the volume of the base times 60. 120 times 60. Why don't you do 12 times 6, 72, and add 2 zeros. Okay. Let's do math in our heads, guys. You don't need to rely on a calculator. All right. The area of the bottom base times the height. 12 times 15. That I don't have memorized. I should have. It's such an easy one. 180. Darn it. 180 times 48. So you're all using your calculators. Ooh. So close. Anyways, the shorter and fatter gym locker holds more. Okay. All right. Your homework is this paper that you see attached. Okay. You're only going to do the ones that I circled. I want to remind you that the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 times the height, and then base 1 plus base 2. So otherwise, you should be able to do all of it. This has a right angle in it, number 2, so you can do that, the height of that triangle. Yeah. So you really only have 6 problems to do. All right. Excellent, guys. So I will talk to you again on Monday. Again, email me, reach out to me if you have any questions. Oh, and have a great weekend. Oh, be sweet to your moms. It's Mother's Day on Sunday. Be super awesome and excellent and say, hey, Mom, thanks for giving birth to me. You're pretty rad. Make her feel amazing. Do something wonderful for her. Okay, guys? All right. I'll see you on Monday.